Hello, everyone, and welcome to Retro Fandango, episode number 158. 158. I'm Kevin. Oh, turn that off. I had our link open and it was echoing. So I'm Kevin, buried on Mars, and I'm here with Richard Rambox Comedy. And this is it. This is Retro Fandango.
So what happens now?
I don't know. We're supposed to talk and have a discussion.
You'd think we'd have a handle on this thing by now.
No. I'm going to do all the house cleaning. Get this out of the way. Quick Save Club this month is playing Fallout New Vegas of War. Go over there to the Quick Save Club and join in, have some fun. And then CC Prime is playing God of War. And then RF Gen is playing Gears of War. So see how everything ends with of war. See how clever that is? That's the kind of comedy you're going to get here.
Ooh, I wish I had something to say about that.
Fandango.
My brain is not working right now.
Good. That's good. I'm glad it's not working because that means I can get through all this before you interrupt me. Fandango for this month of September, we are doing something like 80s comedies, I guess, because we got Stripes from 1981, Revenge of the Nerds from 1984, and Major League from 1989. Next month, it's Curtis's Revenge. He's making us watch 3 troll movies. There are 3 movies with trolls in them. So we're watching Trolls 2, The Troll Hunter, and Ernest Scared Stupid. And then in November, it's the Coming of Age 3-pack with It's Rocket Sauce. Although I think It's Rocket Sauce is on this month as well. And I think Bill might be on too. I don't know. We'll see.
Again, everybody.
Hey, whatever people want to do. I'm up for it. It's all good.
Hey, we used to have parties on this show all the time. It was always a full house.
Yeah, it would be like 5 people. It would be you and I and 3 other people. That's how crazy it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Stand By Me, Dead Poet Society. We haven't picked the 3rd movie yet. I might have
one. We haven't even attempted to pick the 3rd movie yet. It's we just forget all about it.
Entertain the crowd for a bit. Let me go grab something.
Entertain the crowd. Is there even anybody here? Oh, hey, we got Society Frantic. Says Frantic. What's up, guys? I'll take this time to let everybody know that there's a huge typhoon coming to hit Japan tomorrow.
Did you entertain everyone?
I sure did.
So, I was looking at coming of age films, and one of the movies they recommended is this movie called Boyhood. I'm like, I got that movie. Sarah bought this movie.
$4.99.
I don't know what it is.
I can't get over these prices you guys pay.
Like too much or too little?
I would love to be able to pay $4.99 for a brand new Blu-ray.
And this isn't brand new. It is used.
Still a good price.
Although it is sealed.
If I'm lucky, a used Blu-ray might be somewhere between $10 and $15.
Yeah. That's pricey. I mean, this is a cheaper one. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if this is something that would appeal to you. I gotta turn on my light here.
Are you going to read the description?
Yeah. I'm really old. I can't read anymore. Okay, I gotta take out my glasses. This groundbreaking
There's the dollar store. That is something.
This groundbreaking coming of age story shot over 12 years with the same cast follows the life of a normal boy as he grows up into a man before our eyes. Charting the exhilaration of childhood and the seismic shifts of a modern family. Boyhood is both a nostalgic time capsule of the record past and a contemplation of the passage of time. Boyhood isn't just a masterpiece, it's a miracle. This is a miracle.
Sounds like Hoop Dreams. Wasn't that filmed over a whole bunch of years?
Yeah, that's a documentary. I think this is a movie with actors.
Oh, and it was shot over 12 years?
Yeah. So they kept the same actors and they'd go in and shoot scenes.
Is it really about boyhood if you're 12 years older?
Well, you were a boy at some point, right?
I guess. I don't know. It sounds
What do you think?
extremely lame.
All right.
Um,
Well, I just saw it and I thought, well, let's see if that one trans. But
who knows?
all right.
Well, Rocket Sauce says he wants to watch the new RoboCop movie. That's what you got out of that.
What, like the remake?
That's what he's saying.
I can watch that on his own. Go for it. Yeah, they have Blu-rays at the dollar stores. This one was at a place called Giant Tiger. They're like a discount chain here in Ontario.
I like that name.
Giant Tiger. GT Boutique, as some of us call it here.
If you want to sound pretentious, sure.
Well, it's a tongue-in-cheek name because there's nothing really.
Do you also say Target?
No, that's an American thing.
Oh.
We don't do that.
I was going to suggest That Thing You Do, but I'm not sure if that's considered a coming-of-age movie. Isn't that Tom Hanks singing movie?
Yeah, well, he doesn't sing in it, but it's a movie about a band, rock band. That's right. I took Rocket Sauce to a Giant Tiger, and I believe we looked at video games there. I believe that did happen. We went. What did we go in there for? We needed something. Can't remember. The Boyhood movie won some awards by Richard Linklater. Yeah, it said that on the cover. I'm interested in it, but Richard says it looks pretentious. So you know what that means? He's going in with the shields up, mind
said
closed.
Something about you being pretentious,
and there's only going to be like a small little tiny chance for this movie to. So there's just no point. If he's not interested in it, there's no point in forcing it on him because
I could tell you all about that movie from its cover.
Oh. All right.
It has been judged.
You know what? You tell me everything about this movie, and then I'm going to watch the movie, and next week I'll tell you how right you are.
No, it stinks.
Okay, it stinks. Okay,
Yep.
Why does it stink?
Because the cover stinks.
It stinks because the cover stinks.
I was just making a judge the book by its cover comment.
I know.
I didn't actually just say I was going to. Here we go, all the details of whatever that movie is.
All right.
I'm really sleepy today.
Yeah, I know. That's unfortunate because I got nothing. I don't know what the hell to talk about this week.
How come you didn't watch a whole bunch of movies? You said you're up to like 30 movies a week now.
No, 30 movies a month. I didn't watch anything too interesting. I watched The Mule, which is that newer Clint Eastwood movie.
It's got a little wiener on the cover.
Little wiener kid. Yeah, Richard definitely won't like this. It's got children in it. That's right.
Absolutely.
Why do you want to watch coming of age movies if you don't like children? I don't get it.
I didn't want to watch coming of age movies. That was Rocket Sauce's idea. I wanted to watch 80s hijinks comedy with adults playing teenagers.
Okay, Rocket Sauce, and you come up with a movie then. That's it. It's your job. You got to come up with a movie because you put us in this corner. You put me in this corner because we're getting nothing out of Richard. So that's it. By next week, you got to have a movie for us. I watched The Mule. With Clint Eastwood.
The what?
The Mule with Clint Eastwood. He directed.
Oh,
it.
I saw that. Yes.
Oh, you watched it? What did you think?
Yeah.
Of it?
It's not his best. It's kind of so-so at times. It's very anything that deals with innocence getting involved with the drug business just reminds me of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to not be compared to that.
I don't know. I liked it. I liked the characters in it and just thought it was interesting.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not.
I thought the ending was a little hokey. Like he just gives up. Sorry, spoiler alerts for the Mule, but like he just kind of conveniently like, I'm not going to put you guys through a trial and make you decide what to do. I'll just take charge. And do it myself.
Right. He just volunteers to go to prison. Well, he's like 98 years old.
Right. Yeah.
Let him have his little garden.
It's just very convenient because that's Clint Eastwood's viewpoint of the world, right? Everyone should just man up and do the right thing. And
He's from an older generation. That was the
yeah,
way.
but I thought it was entertaining. I liked
I
it.
just wanted to watch Stand By Me. You know, that's not a bad idea of just if we only got one or two movies.
I'm fine with that. If you just want to do
Yeah.
two movies, if you just want to do one movie, I'm
What
fine.
was the
I'm
other
down
one?
with that.
Stand By Me and the Robin Williams thing?
Dead Poet
Dead
Society.
Poet Society?
If you just want to do Stand By Me, I'm fine with that too.
You decide, Saucy.
You tell us. It's your show. You're taking charge of November now. You're programming November's Film Dango.
It's probably better that way. That way, just like this past month, we can blame the audience for everything.
for all the bad stuff. There you go. So there you go. If we don't like, well, I mean, I love Stand By Me, so there's no.
Well, yeah,
It's
it's
not going
just
to get any higher from me.
In-depth conversation.
All right. Well,
which won't at all lead into side comments of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
well, yeah, no, that's going to definitely happen because I mean, you got Wesley in there, and you know when Star Trek: Next Generation started, he was like Wesley Crusher was the star of the show because Will Wheaton was like the only one that was in. Him and LeVar Burton were like the only sort of known actors at the time.
Hey, Patrick Stewart was in Dune.
He was in it, but he wasn't like a known actor.
Right,
You know?
he
Like
wasn't the big name.
Right, people knew LeVar Burton from Roots and
Reading Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow, right? And then Will Wheaton. I mean, he was just in that movie, Stand By Me. So he was the lead in that movie, and that was a big movie. And this was the next thing he did. So they were the stars.
When you watch that movie and all the kids start fighting, do you expect one of them to turn around and go, "Shut up, Wesley"?
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't. All right. Well, you've been on your Mad Max journey.
I have completed my journey. Yeah, I just finished off Thunderdome.
So you watched the whole thing from beginning to end?
I did. And you were not kidding. There are some movies you watch them and you might be enjoying your way, and then towards the end you're kind of like, I wonder where this movie fell off. This one just tells you plainly. It's like,
guess what?
Like Mel Gibson basically just stops the movie and says, all right, from this point on, it's going to suck.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the first 30 minutes or so, and I was just like, I can't believe how much crap this movie gets. This is actually pretty good. This is decent. It's way better than I thought. And then the kids show up, and it's Goonies with Mad Max.
It's all the kids. It felt, well, I think you said you haven't seen it, but it feels a lot like Hook, the Robin Williams Peter Pan movie. But yeah, I think it was about 40 minutes. Mad Max goes to Bartertown. There's a bunch of, it's like going to the Mos Eisley Space Cantina.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all these terrible people in one spot gambling and getting all edgy, and there's shenanigans going on, and there's this secret underground where they're creating all the fuel and everything, and there's lots of weirdos, and Tina Turner, who was great. I thought she was really fun. And there's the Thunderdome itself, this weird cage in the center, and then there's like fighting and betrayal and little shady deals going on, and then everything falls apart. They turn on him. You got to leave the city and then go hang out with the Lost Boys in the desert. To be fair, like the ending was fine, another car chase down the road, which I guess is the only way to end a Mad Max movie. Mm-hmm. That was fine. It's just, that chunk with the kids, and they had the solution right there. They had the pilot from the second movie, and he sees Max in the city, and he never interacts with them. They're always cutting away. He's watching him. He remembers him. Never does anything. After the cage match, when the Tina Turner and her people turn on him, all they had to do was like, okay, Max, I'm going to help you get out of here because you helped me once. And then he helps him get out of the city. But then, oh no, my son got kidnapped in the escape. Max and the pilot are outside. All right, let's recoup at your place. Let's figure out a plan, and then they go back in to save the kid. You didn't have to involve all those other caveman talking people. That was the
Yeah.
hardest part, having them be a bunch of kids. All right, fine, but then them all talking like Cove
Yeah.
from Rambo 2.
They're all cavemen. I don't understand that. And like, it's really like in almost every dystopian society movie or TV show where these people all of a sudden just forget English and they
Yeah.
talk like cave people. You know, the worst one was The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead is like, I think by season 8, you're only like, I don't know, 3 years into this zombie thing where people are all, zombies and that, and they run into these people who talk like cave people. They live in a junkyard, and it's like, how do they forget to speak English in 3 years?
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't
This
get it.
this one especially because like I have no idea what the situation, like they were on a plane and they crashed, but only kids were on the plane. Like I don't know, I guess school trip, but they're all different ages. Obviously the older ones maybe should have known how to speak.
Yeah.
Even, I'm sorry, no, all of them should have known how to speak. If they were old enough to be on a plane and they survived without any parents, they were probably at least a few years old, 5, 6, something like that.
Yeah.
You know how to talk
Yeah.
at that point.
I don't know.
At least you know not to talk like a cave person.
Yeah. It wasn't a very well done movie.
No.
Speaking of a well done dystopian society, though.
Sorry, one quick thing though. There is one guy
Almost
who's
a
one of,
segue.
yeah, almost. There's one guy in the Tina Turner crew who's like a crazy stuntman, and at the end of the movie, you see him jumping from like bus to car to motorcycle, and it's all like one shot, real time.
Yeah,
that guy was very impressive.
Yeah, there was some good stunt work and car, like the car chases and that, like you said, were good.
That stuff's always impressive, especially at that time when there were no safety nets and there was no green screen, just a bunch of people out on the road, just driving at high speeds and flipping around like acrobats.
I was watching a movie, White Heat from 1949, so Jimmy Cagney, and this one guy, like they're robbing a train, and this one guy like walks up to the top of this tunnel, and as the train comes through the tunnel, he jumps on top of the train, and like the train isn't moving that fast, and he's jumping onto, like, they have it like disguised, like there's a mat on the top of the train, but still he drops like 20 feet on top of a moving train,
he could roll over and get crushed by the thing,
or break an ankle or something, if he doesn't fall right, and there's no ropes being digitally taken out or anything, or safety harness being taken out. So yeah, anyways, speaking of a dystopian society, I did watch a dystopian society film called Soylent Green. It's the second time I've seen this movie. Have you ever seen Soylent Green?
I haven't. I've heard so much about it, and I know the ending, and Chuck Heston, right?
That's right. Yeah, and it.
I'd like to see it. It's just one of those movies I've never gotten to.
I think Phil Hartman spoiled the end of that movie to our entire generation, because I believe there was an SNL skit where he was playing Chuck Heston.
Soylent Yellow is people. Doing all the sequels, I think it was.
Yeah. Well, even if you know what Soylent Green is, it's still like a really good thriller, sci-fi.
Yeah, I imagine the movie is more than just the twist.
I mean, not to spoil thing, but the twist, it's not like I guess it sort of is like an M. Night Shyamalan thing where they leave it right to the end, like it's the very last thing, but it's more how they discover it, what he goes through to discover it and all that, and then just the world, like how the world has changed and all that. It's basically like we screw up the world through. It's more of an environmental warning film, like we kind of just burn up the planet and with all the fossil fuels and everything like that, and the population explodes. New York is 80 million people, and it's all walled off and everything because the oceans are toxic. Everything's toxic, right? So it's basically there's only like small pockets of the earth where people can live and survive. And it isn't until towards the end of the movie that Edward G. Robinson's in the movie as well. This was his final role. I'm a big fan of Edward G. Robinson. He's good times. And he goes out in a bang with this movie. So basically, when you reach a certain age, you can go in. It's sort of like that Star Trek episode where you can turn yourself in to be, get rid of you, basically. Like you kind of outlived your usefulness or whatever. So Edward G. Robinson reaches that conclusion. He's like, you know what, I'm kind of done. So, they put him in a nice bed and everything like that. And they basically, this movie came out in 1973. So there is a lot in this movie that is kind of impressive of what they predicted. They basically put him in like an IMAX theater. It's like a screen that kind of wraps around him a little bit. And they're just showing him images of old Earth, like Earth before it changed. And Edward G. Robinson's looking at all this stuff, and he's seeing it all, and he's remembering like how Earth used to be when he was a kid, when he was a child, right? And Charlton Heston walks in while all this is going on, and as Charlton Heston's looking at everything, and that you realize that this is the first time his character has ever seen, like they have like deer in a field and a meadow, and that this is the first time his character's ever seen anything like that, let alone had it like. It's not like as if he could look it up in books or anything like that. Like the concept of any of this stuff was just hitting him all at once. And Heston doesn't really say too much. It's all just like on how he looks. And Edward G. Robinson says, "Look how beautiful it was." He's like, "Yes, I know." And it was just really good scenes. It was really good stuff. So still recommended, even if you know what Soylent Green is.
I do want to watch that someday.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Rams, the scoops. There's riots in the town, and the bad guys send out the scoops, which are like they're basically everything in this movie is all garbage trucks. They just kind of repaint garbage trucks all the time to suit whatever purpose they need. And so this time, like the scoops are garbage trucks with these big scoops, and they just go in and they pick up the rioters and they throw them into the back of a truck. It's pretty wild, man, but it's good. It's good times.
Fun props, funny hair, funny props.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. I forgot. I did watch another movie, so I'm going to put that in for later. But right now, I want to hear about your.
First, you want to hear about Star Trek.
That's right. I want to hear about Star Trek Season 3.
Enterprise Season 3. That's pretty whack. Season 1, Season 2 do the standard, one-off episodes, maybe like a two-parter here and there. Right. Season 3, they decided, I guess it was, all right, ratings are in the toilet. We got to make some changes here. So they updated the theme song, which if you didn't like it at the beginning, you're going to hate it from Season 3.
Is it the same theme?
It's the same vocals, but they changed the instrumental. Apparently, they got messages saying it's too depressing, it's too slow, it's too folk songy. So they keep the folk songy lyrics, but then they add like electric guitars and make it all like.
I remember something about it sounding like very Bon Jovi-ish.
That's probably the Season 3 and 4 that you watched instead of. If you compare the two, at least Season 1 and 2, if you like it or not, you could at least say it's better or it's more appropriately matched, So that's bad. And then the whole season is like one major story that they're just following. But at the same time, they still. They pepper that into every episode, but they still kind of have their one-offs. But they'll have some little detail that ends up, adding to the whole thing. And it's just a revenge story. It starts off with some alien probe coming to Earth, and then it fires a laser and cuts a big line, kills 7 million people. And then Enterprise is sent out to discover like what this thing was, who attacked Earth. Let's find out what's going on, and they end up going into this weird Bermuda Triangle section of space. The Vulcans call it, the something expanse, and they're warning everyone, like, don't go in there, and people go crazy in there, and apparently it has a slightly more lethal effect on Vulcans. There's some stuff in there that affects their brains and stuff and stuff and stuff and more stuff, and it's just it's an angry season. Archer becomes like a jerk, and he's just angry all the time, and he wants revenge, and he's doing all these shady things. He tortures people, he locks them up, he threatens to kill people, and it's all in the... You remember in DS9 when Cisco was on edge, like he was just like all the pressure of the whole situation was getting to him. And at certain points, he did questionable things. He got his hands dirty, but it was handled a little smarter. They took their time. They set up everything with the supporting characters, and you understood the situation and the pressure. Enterprise, it's the same problem from season 1 to season 4. I've started season 4. It's all in the execution. It's just the show is never executed very well. There are plenty of interesting ideas and like, oh, that's a fun concept. It just, whether it's the writing, the acting, the pacing, it's just never quite executed well. I'm guessing that after the other shows, a lot of the people who had a bit more experience kind of retired and fell off. And
they've been at it for how long?
And again, like how many ideas they've already gone through, how many character types they've already introduced, like how many different people can you get on this ship and still have them be an interesting characters? Okay, here's the helmsman again. I've realized, like, if you're on Star Trek, you do not want to be a helmsman or a navigator, because there's absolutely nothing for you to do other than sit there and go, oh, I've lost helm control.
Why do you think
keep sitting there? We got other people that need to walk around and do stuff. And
why do you think Sulu demanded his own starship?
Exactly. Unless you're Data. Like if you're Data and you've got a really interesting character and you're also a second officer, you got a lot of good stuff you can do.
Yeah. Well, Data was they kind of changed it around, right? Like there was no navigator position. It was wasn't he what was it, operations or something like that? But he was the science officer as well.
Yeah, he was the science officer. He was second officer. He was an android trying to become human.
Was he third? Or first officer. Third. Yeah, okay, right.
Yep.
Never mind.
So lots of stuff. He had a cat,
Yeah, well, there was a lot. I mean, Data, besides Picard, Data was like the biggest character on that.
He was the most interesting to write for. He had so much you can do. But if you're just an ensign who's flying the ship, or like Tom Paris, like part of what makes those characters interesting is their experience. Like Kirk and Bones and Spock and Picard, they all have stories about things they've been through, and they have that life experience. When you're an ensign, it's like all you have is, oh, I'm really excited to be here. I wonder what we're going to do today. And there's nothing there.
Yeah, and that's
the writers realize that because they do absolutely nothing with these characters. They sit there, and then sometimes they'll even have like a nobody, just like an extra, who has a line of dialogue. And it's like, you didn't give any dialogue to your main character who's in the opening credits of every show. And you're just throwing away lines to these extras.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them had it baked into their contract. Like they only did so many episodes, right? And so not have been available for that one or whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. They're finally addressing the whole T'Pol is constantly emotional thing. They've written it in where they came up with the reason for her to have emotions and struggle with them.
Oh. Is she a full Vulcan or she's
a full Vulcan? Okay. Apparently she's always had trouble suppressing and hiding her emotions. And then during her time in the Expanse, they wrote in this thing like really late in the season of how she was experimenting with accessing emotions, and she did some irreparable damage so that she's always going to have these emotions on the surface. And at least in season 4 now, they seem to be doing a couple of episode story arcs. Like they do like 2 episodes or 3 episodes and deal with one story, and then
Yeah.
they'll move on to something else. Brunt Spiner was in a couple episodes, but
See, that's
not much.
like I find the best characters in Star Trek have more than just the one thing. Like just think of the genius of foresight it took to make not just make Spock a Vulcan, but make him half human.
Yeah,
Like that's because then you could do so much more with that
there's a
character.
potential for conflict and second guessing and learning new things.
Right, and constantly struggling between each thing, and then
Hmm.
even Kirk was a deep character. He was he was the cowboy of it, but he was always like being pulled between logic and Bones's emotions and stuff, which is the right way to do. But plus, he was the young captain that had something to prove, you know. And then in the next generation, Data wasn't just the android on the show. He wasn't
Hmm.
just like come in and say give the facts and go. He was struggling to be more human. He wanted to fit in more. He always strived to be not just be the best android he could be, but be the best shipmate he could be and all that. So there was something deep there. Worf wasn't just the Klingon on the ship. He was the only Klingon in the Federation. This was unexplored territory. A
He
lot
was
of the
also raised by humans.
right, and the Federation didn't know a lot about Klingons. They know
Hmm.
certain things and all that. So there was so much to explore there. And then you think about your weaker characters. Well, Geordi was the blind guy. He was just the blind guy. So then they were like, well, we got to do something with him. Let's make him the chief engineer instead of just the
Hmm.
blind guy on the bridge. So they
Well,
could do a little bit more with it.
they were going to get that other guy to be chief engineer, but then did you hear the story about him? The engineer with the beard
No.
who's in like the early seasons. They did basically. Roddenberry wanted everything to take place on the bridge, so he didn't have like a chief engineer. He thought like let's keep everything here, and they'll just use the engineer when necessary. But after a while, they realized, all right, it's kind of important. We really need to have an engineer and go down to engineering. Miles is just a transporter chief. No, not O'Brien. There was the other guy. I forget his name, but first season, like there was another engineer guy with the beard. He had a beard. Um, and they were set to make him the main guy, but then apparently he started spreading rumors. Like, and this is pre-internet. He was like writing letters or something to the studio saying, "Hey, that character's real great. You should make him a main character." And he was basically trying to pressure the studio into making him a more important role. And what I think they had issues, so they cut him loose, and then they're like, "Okay, Geordi, you're going to be the new engineer."
Oh, this guy. Okay, wait. Let's
Yeah,
see if I
that
can.
guy.
Let's see if I can share this.
You know him when you see him.
Wait. Oh no, that's not what I want to do. No, that's not what I want to do. Yeah, no. Share screen. Select the window. To screen.
I mean, TNG did nothing with Miles mostly.
Right,
Well,
this
he was.
guy.
That's another example.
This
Yeah,
guy.
there he is. Yeah, that guy, Argyle.
Argyle that was his name. Argyle Memory Alpha.
Yeah, look him up. He did something to get himself fired.
I believe you. Well,
Oh, and then Riker took his beard. Ooh, they love that Argyle beard, so they stuck it on Riker.
is that what happened?
No, you know what happened is they were on break, and then Jonathan Frakes comes back for like a meeting with Roddenberry, and at the time he grew his beard out while they were on break, and Roddenberry looks at him and goes, "Oh, I like that. It's nautical." And he's like, "Well, keep that in the show."
Oh well, there you go. Well, and then Odo on Deep Space Nine, he was like the best character on
Argyle was in Die Hard.
because he wasn't just the shapeshifter, he was like the last guy. A lot of people thought he was God. Like there was depth to those characters.
Yeah, you got to have something more. I guess that's it. Like when you're creating the character, you really need to keep that in mind. Like, what is their conflict? You know, not just what is their goal or what is their background. You need their
Even
conflict.
something. Wesley Crusher. I mean, as annoying as his character was, he was like the young kid. You know, how is this going to work? All that. They were kind of experimenting and with a lot of stuff.
And they made mistakes. There are plenty of bad episodes of every series.
Sure, absolutely.
It's just Enterprise never quite got the good ones.
There is a difference between a good series with a few bad episodes and a bad series
with a couple of good episodes
that might have a good episode or two. One's worth watching and the other's not. Anyways, that's
there are a lot of fun ideas, but
yeah. Well, that was my problem with Enterprise is that I just none of the characters really seem that interesting. And honestly, with Voyager too, I fell off because that's what I felt like. You know, Neelix was
annoying.
Just the guy. He was the alien guy that knew stuff, and he was a chef. That was it. Like there was nothing more to him. You know, they tried it with that. He had that girlfriend. You know, and he was hiding something about her or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know if it went anywhere.
Cass, yeah, they just owned up to that. They're like, we have nothing to do with this character. Let's just get rid of her.
And then they got rid of her, you know. Oh well. Argyle was the driver, the driver in Die
That's
Hard, right? Okay, yeah. He was the limo driver.
That's why he got fired. He's always just hanging out on the phone. TNG did nothing with Miles, but he wasn't a main character, you know.
No, and then
he was one of those, and they did do a fair amount with him.
Yeah, like with the Keiko and the baby and all that stuff.
Yeah, he got married on that show,
and then they were like, we don't really have room for this character on this show. Let's put him on the Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, they started to develop little things. He had they talked about his history with Cardassians and like fighting in the war. And he had a little xenophobia there.
Oh, I love this. How I didn't watch enough of Voyager. That's a good comment. So I need to watch every episode of Full House to get a grasp of what's going on with Full House. I need to see everything throughout the entire series to understand the show.
Uncle Jesse's a very complicated guy.
It's a very complex character. Bob Saget, what was his name on the show? Dad, I guess. Right?
Danny Tanner.
Danny Tanner. I need to know, more about Danny Tanner before I make a judgment on Michelle. What's up with Michelle? You don't need to see every episode. Don't need to see it all.
Maybe if you go to Fuller House, The Next Generation, that'll hook you in, and you'll want to go back and see the original.
I had to put in some clips of that show because, that's right. What's her face? The one that's in trouble with, because she put her kids through college, like she paid her. Did you hear about that story?
No. She's in trouble for sending her kids to college?
No. So Lori something. She's the one who played.
Uncle Jesse's love interest,
right?
Or they got married
or something. I don't know. Anyways,
when I was a kid, I watched Full House. I hated it, but I watched it because I was a TV addict.
You hate watch.
Danny Tanner and Lori Metcalf, not her.
No, it's that she was on.
She's the other Lori.
Right.
They were like co-hosts on a TV show, and then she was romantically involved with Uncle Jesse.
Right. Okay. So, anyways, that actress gave some college some payola to get her kid enrolled into a college.
Oh, she bribed her way in.
Right. So she is. I think she's doing time right now for that. Ooh. So then on the show, they had to come up with a reason why Aunt Becky
is coming back now.
Where is Aunt Becky? How come she's gone? And so I had to find the reason why she left the show and give them the clip.
So why'd she leave the show?
Or why she wasn't on the show? I can't even remember. She was helping somebody do something, her mom or something. She's helping make license plates. Yeah. That's what you're doing in reality, for sure. that's what they do. Laughlin? Lori Laughlin? Longland? I don't know. Aunt Becky. Anyway.
The not all the kids are there too, right? The Olsen twins, like they have nothing to do with that show,
No, they're not on it. It's
right?
yeah, they're the holdouts. I think they're off somewhere doing something else
Well, they
on the show.
got multi-billion-dollar businesses after their they got
Oh
famous for
yeah,
taking pictures.
yeah.
Look, there's two of us.
Do you remember?
Put us on a video game.
Remember there was a website that was a countdown. It was a really creepy website. There was a
I heard
countdown on
about
it
this stuff. Yeah,
when the Olsen twins turn 18.
that was a big creepy thing.
Man.
There are perverts out there, man. I remember being in a bookstore many years ago in the States, and there was another kid actress. Oh, I can't remember her name, but it was like another like blonde Disney Channel actress or whatever. And I was walking through a bookstore, and they had like calendars or something set up. And she was really big at the time, so there was calendars and stuff. And these two like grown men walking by, like in their 20s or so, and I just very distinctly remember one guy like elbowing the other and say, "Hey, what do you think?" And it's like, she's 16 years old. I was like, oh, come on. Creepy people.
Yeah. And that person was Bill? No.
I know one guy had a ponytail and the other guy had a shaved head.
Oh, well, there you go. And it wasn't me. All right. So Bill says, if I'm going to get on my pulpit and preach, then yes, I have to watch every episode of Voyager. Okay, I'll remember that next time a John Hughes movie comes up in the conversation and Bill gets on his pulpit. I have to say, well, Bill, you have to watch every single one of his movies in order to make a decision on whether you like it or not, on whether it's good quality entertainment.
Having an opinion is fine, but going on the internet and complaining, you have to do your research.
Oh, I see.
Unless you're talking about hidden gems, then you only got to about 5 minutes worth.
Oh man, there's so many games that I had bought that someone said, "Oh, this is good. This is a hidden gem." I'm like, "Really? Okay." And then I buy it and I start playing it. I'm like, this person did not play this game past the first level, did they? They just played that first level and that was good enough for them.
All you need to do is change your understanding of the definition of hidden gem. Hidden gem means a game you never heard of that looks okay for 5 minutes, but is actually not that great. That's what a hidden gem
is. Yeah, if that's what it is, then I have plenty of hidden gems here. Oh man, I remember there was one game. What the heck? Revolt. I bought Revolt. It looked
a racing
so cool.
game.
Yeah, it's a racing game. It was out on everything.
Oh right, that was like RC cars. Yep. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's true. You start playing it, the first level. It's like, wow, this is really cool because you're a little RC car and you're going through like a parking lot and that. And there's regular size cars and you're racing through underneath them and all that. And you're like, oh yeah, this is really cool. And then by the second level, that's when the physics for the games kind of ramps up and you realize how broken the game actually is. And
yeah, they don't have lasting power, those games. It's just it's the initial shock of like, ooh, look at this. Isn't that neat? And then it sinks in.
And you can put it in a video for like 2 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
You might have got that from me because I remember.
No. I know exactly who it was.
Oh, really? Because I went through a phase years back where I was into all those little like racing games, and especially like miniature like micro machines and RC cars and stuff. I thought that was fun, driving around on countertops and dodging Cheerios.
No, I could tell you exactly whose video it was that recommended that game to me.
Whose video was it?
I don't know if I should say. I
don't know who puts out hidden gem videos.
Who's a big YouTuber that puts out hidden gem videos?
I mean, who used to be a big YouTuber?
Oh, not anymore?
I don't know. I don't watch that stuff anymore.
Me neither. I haven't watched that stuff in a while.
It's amazing. I'm still surprised sometimes. I just go on YouTube and I don't look for it, but then I'll just see, oh, Happy Console Gamer released 4 hours ago. Like, man, he's still doing that.
Yeah, I actually watched a couple of his videos because he went through a little thing where his wife had a baby, and he had like a medical problem, and then his friend Rob Rob Man had an
Hmm.
accident at work and that. So I was just catching up on his
The
life,
real life stuff.
the real life stuff. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I'm
Yeah, I
glad.
don't doubt that these people, any of them, are not, really nice people. They come across as being very likable individuals. It's just let's talk about what video games I'm playing again.
Yeah.
Do a thumbnail.
Pocket Sauce has it. He has exactly who I'm talking about.
He
I
makes
think I
fat videos.
know. All right. Before we wrap this up, I think it's going to be a short episode because I don't think we have too much to talk about.
Are
I
we done
watched
already?
today. I watched Eat Man 2. If you remember last week, I watched Eat Man, the kung
Yes.
fu movie. So it's based on a real guy, the guy who trained Bruce Lee. In the way of I can't remember it's some kind of kung fu. But it was the first movie was his life story. It was like a biopic, and when they got to the end in that, it was like, and he went on to train Bruce Lee, and that's the story of Eat Man. So how can they make it Eat Man 2? Like it's like making a sequel to the Ray Charles movie or something like that, or the Johnny
Mhm.
Cash movie. But Eat Man made a lot of money, and they found a way. So they decided for Eat
Eat
Man.
Man enters another dimension.
No, it's not Eat Man in space. It turns into a Rocky movie. Eat Man gets there's this so the British have taken over Hong Kong now. The Japanese are out. This is in the 50s now, so now Hong Kong is a British colony, and they're all the British who kind of control everything in Hong Kong now. Everybody there calls them the Foreign Devils. There's no real PC police, I think, in Hong Kong at all.
It's
But
pretty much only in North America.
yeah, but whatever, it's fine. I mean, the way people in the movie are seen as really terrible people, and I got no problem with that because we absolutely are. So this British boxer wants to, they want him to fight in Hong Kong. They want to try to get the sport of boxing in, get it hyped up in Hong Kong. So they go into this town where everybody, learns the kung fu and that, and they start picking fights with the kung fu masters. And Sammo Hung is actually in this one. So first of all, Eat Man has to prove himself to Sammo Hung in order to get a school going into this town. And the unfortunate part is like Sammo Hung is kind of old at this point. Movie was in 2010, so he's at least pushing the 60s. And they use you can tell they use some wire stuff a little bit in some scenes, but basically he fights Eat Man fights Sammo Hung on a table. It's like
yeah, okay, I know this.
it's a table about like that big, and then they put this big round thing on top of it, so it's not like the top isn't exactly sitting on there,
Mm-hmm.
and then they turn up all these stools upside down all around the table. So when you knock off one of those stools, is going to knock you like right in the back. And the old people are all complaining, like, "Yeah, this is pussy stuff." Because when we did it back in the day, there'd be knives taped to all the table legs. So when you fell, you're going to die. But anyways, so they're fighting and thing, and they got the wires and stuff like that. So then he proves himself to that, and then this boxer guy, he beats up Sammo Hung, because Sammo Hung's like the lead master guy, and that pisses off Eat Man. So now Eat Man has to fight this British boxer. He fights like Western style, and they're like Kung Fu Eastern. So it's like Kung Fu guys fighting like a boxer with the gloves and everything, and it totally turns into a Rocky movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it was as like I don't want to say cheesy. I guess it was a little cheesy in some parts, but as hokey or as it was entertaining as hell. I loved it. I thought I had a lot of fun.
It sounds
watching
like when you're a kid and you're playing He-Man,
yeah,
and then suddenly you're like, "Oh, here comes Optimus Prime!"
right, yeah, and they're gonna start fighting. That's totally what it was. And it kind of hit like the beats of a Rocky movie, but it was really well done. Like the choreography and all that, and all the stunts and everything, all that stuff that I love in these type of movies were there. And It's really good, man. I highly recommend you watch the first one, then watch the second one, because why not? It's good. And I'm going to watch the third one. And then, but the funny thing is that the movie ends like the same way. Like, and that was it for Eat Man. He went on to go and train Bruce Lee. Hey, don't forget about Bruce Lee.
They just Eat Man walking down the road with the Bruce Banner music playing.
They show like clips of the real Eat Man, and how he's like, the thing with the wood pegs, like you got that.
That wooden dummy thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's how he did all of his training and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really good, man. If you're into the martial arts and stuff and the kung fu movies and you just want to have a good time, they're only about an hour and 40 minutes each, and they're good times. So
that's cool.
Watch Eat Man 2.
Hey, speaking of fat videos, not to be mean.
Oh yeah, there are fat people in this movie, and like the one guy's name is Fatso. Like everyone calls him Fatso. No PC. No politically correct.
That's so sad.
It is a little sad. Like it's called Fatso all the time.
I don't know. Some places in the world they still have a sense of humor about such things. But no, it just reminded me. I also watched a John Candy movie.
Oh,
see if we can drag Bill back into this. Summer Rental. It's another movie that I remember watching a lot as a kid, and I needed to watch it again because I always get it confused with The Great Outdoors. Like, I know the two movies individually, but they're both John Candy going on vacation in a cabin with his family.
Yeah,
and I often get a few things mixed up. But I was happy to watch it again. There are a lot of moments that I remember very well, and then there was a whole main plot that I totally forgot about. Richard Crenna plays the antagonist in the movie. Right. It's all about sailing and taking boats. And Rip Torn is in it as like a lovable rapscallion.
You're making me remember how they won the boating race.
Yeah, John Candy.
Good stuff, man.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
A lot of the beginning, I really like. I'm going to spoil one thing if anyone hasn't seen it. But one thing I really like is when he's an air traffic controller who's stressed out and he's got to go on vacation. So he was really good, Rip Torn, Bill. He was really good in that. They basically, his company sets up this house for him to rent. So he drives out there like, where's the house? Where's the house? They get there and it's like, wow, look at this great house. It's really big and fancy looking. It's all the trimmings and everything. It's just wonderful. It's right on the beach, great view of the ocean and everything. And, they don't make a big thing about it. So then later on, when somebody's trying to break into the house and he's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I rented this house, blah, blah, blah. I got my receipt right here. And he's like, oh, it's 15 Beach Lane. It's like, this is 15 Beach Road. And like they made a mistake. They got the wrong house.
Right.
The natural thing to do for a lot of cheesy filmmakers is immediately jump to the scene of them going into the next place and like, oh, look, there are the cockroaches. Get the camera over there, zoom in on all the defects, and you got it. The jokes. So when they just cut to them in the next apartment already, the next rental house already, and clearly you can just discern from the details. Okay, it's not great, and they just move on. They don't sit there and dwell with that kind of stuff. So I like the pacing of the film. It's a lot of smart decisions. You don't have to hammer down the joke.
Well, how else are people going to get it? You got to make sure they get the joke. Come on.
There are plenty of other jokes in the movie that are repeats and just kind of show up again and again. The neighbor who is constantly insecure about her boob job.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's Carl Reiner who directed that.
Carl Reiner, yeah.
Yeah, so of course. Man, let me tell you, if you want some good Rip Torn movies, watch, I think, was he in Cincinnati Kid? Yeah, he was in the Cincinnati Kid from the 60s. In the 60s, Rip Torn would play like all these like really nasty characters. Like just always the bad guy, like the evil, nasty guy. pricks, slap around the women and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And he was like when you look at young, like totally unrecognizable compared to how he looked in like the Larry Sanders Show and that later. Like it completely changed. I think that some alcohol might have had something to do with it, because I believe he did have some problems with that. But yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got. I got nothing else.
Well, that's cool.
I had to show my vinyl records that I talked about last night.
That's why you got nothing. You're just too busy creating content for other podcasts.
There was really all I do is I grab a stack of records and I put them here and then I talk about them.
We'll grab a stack of games, as we do here. We're always talking about the games.
All I can see.
What game you playing? How far are you into God of War?
Well, I finished Uncharted 3 finally, because that was sitting in the PlayStation 4. I think I mentioned a few episodes ago I only played the PC and my Xbox One, but I forgot I was playing the Uncharted games on the PlayStation 4. So before I started God of War, I wanted to finish that game off. So I finished it. And then I started playing God of War again, and all it did was reminded me of what I don't like about that game. I was like, yeah, this game's still, the pacing is like way off on it. It's so slow. I mean, like they have a big buildup for the compass on your screen HUD. Yeah, they make like such a big deal about the compass on your screen HUD.
Oh. Rocket Sauce has some ideas. Just tell us right now. We need the content.
Tell us right now.
Summer main theme from summer.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett, man. Jimmy Buffett was the king. Jimmy Buffett was the man. Cheeseburger in paradise. Come on.
I was thinking of playing some games because Dean said he was going to play this text adventure game that's on GOG.
I can't go back. Sorry. Can't do it.
I think I can. And Serious Sam was just given away on GOG, I guess. So I might play that.
The first one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Losing It, Dazed and Confused, Fast Times.
Fast Times is great.
Oh, that's not Sauce.
Yeah. Hey, we got Old Ass. Hey, we got people.
Hello.
I'm doing a video with that guy soon.
Oh boy, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead, The Outsiders, and Karate Kid. We know Kevin's thoughts on the Karate Kid.
I don't think it's a good idea to let these guys program this show, because it's like, no, this is not good.
I like the Karate Kid. It's a good movie.
It's fine.
Recommendation for me.
It's fine.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Isn't that Christina Applegate?
I think so.
Oh, that's the dishes are done, man movie.
Oh.
That's in the trailer. Like they're throwing dishes up in the sky and shooting them with a shotgun. And one guy goes, "The dishes are done, man." And when that movie came out back in the 80s or 90s, whatever it was, my uncle thought that was the stupidest thing ever. And he would just make fun of it all the time going, "The dishes are done, man." So that's just stuck in my head.
I don't remember it that well at all. I don't know if I've ever seen it. Rushmore's good.
That's a Bill Murray one, right?
Yep.
I haven't seen that. It's up to you, Sauce. If we can do just Stand By Me. We can do Stand By Me and Dead Poets. We can do whatever one of these you want to add on there. Pick something.
Yeah. Just let us know next week.
Just don't pick Karate Kid, because you're going to hear Kevin go.
I'll watch it. I'm not going to watch it again. I already know it's this thing, but it's fine. It's a fine movie. Sorry.
Everybody's getting excited about that Cobra Kai because it went over to Netflix now. So a lot of people are seeing it for the first time. So there's a lot of hype behind the Karate Kid stuff.
Oh, it's pretentious coming of age movies. What? No. All right. I say we wrap this up. We're done.
And Cobra Kai on Netflix. That is not a coming of age movie. That is teenage soap opera and boobies.
Follow Retro Fandango on Twitter at retro_Fandango. If you're one of the Power 30, you already know this, though. Get a boner with Fandango. And don't forget to check out Discord. There was something on. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I really should log on to Discord on here. Because Duke did. Wait, I'll do it on my phone. Duke did have something to say. He had something to say.
Duke.
Yeah.
Like, we want to hear what he has to say.
Remember that guy? He used to be on the show a lot.
He used to.
Yeah.
Now he just goes around buying old Atari games.
He bought a stereo system. Well, he didn't.
Did he buy it or he got it?
Got it. Yeah, he got it. He got it.
So now he's going to be doing the records. Huh?
Yeah, that's cool. We need more people like Duke in that community. He said he liked our school talk. He went to Catholic school. Yeah, last week we talked about getting beat up. He also was hovered in the middle where no one bothered him. I wish I was one of those people. Says the thing is a masterpiece. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
He watches it every year. Did a Stuck in the 80s video on it. Remember when he did those? He said Bob just watched the Chucky movie and said it was okay. I've never seen them.
Which one?
So I think just the first one. I don't know. I liked the first one. I thought it was good. I do want to watch more.
Good puppeteering.
Yeah.
Good performance by the voice actor.
And then he wanted to know if we've ever seen the movie The Reanimator.
I know of it, but I've never seen it. Jeffrey Combs.
Oh, he's in it?
He's in a lot of, well, not a lot, but he's in a few episodes of Enterprise. He plays an Andorian, and he's like the best character. He just shows up every, 22 episodes or so.
And then Frantic Josh is trying to get me to watch Rick and Morty. I do want to see it.
That cartoon show, right?
Yeah. I hear good things.
That's the one it's based on, like the characters are based on Back to the Future.
Sort of, I think.
Kind of like inspired
after.
by, modeled after.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Losing It has a donkey. Well, there, I'm sold. Let's do it. Nope.
He's talking about Tom Cruise.
We already established Tom Cruise does not make good movies. We already established it.
Yeah, but this is before he was Tom Cruise.
Doesn't matter.
He was just some actor guy.
Doesn't matter. There's Rain Man.
Trying to make it big.
There's A Few Good Men. That's it. Those are your two good Tom Cruise movies. Top Gun is good when the camera's not on Tom Cruise.
You get all emotional over Goose.
Goose was good times. I like Goose. I liked him on ER too. Anthony Edwards. All right.
What else did he do?
Anthony Edwards.
Anything else?
Yeah,
he's in the Revenge of the Nerds.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Look at that.
So
Full circle.
That's a trifecta right there. Revenge of the Nerds, Top Gun, and ER. That's what we should do next. Just random episodes of ER. All right. That's it. We're done. Go watch Eat Man 2 after you're done watching Eat Man 1. Some good kung fu. It's on Netflix. It's everywhere. And don't watch Losing It. It's garbage. I haven't even seen it. I haven't even seen it. But that's okay. Because Bill says it's okay to pass judgment on a movie without even seeing it. You just got to know who's in it or who directed it. All right? And I follow whatever Bill says. All right. All right, that's it. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.